Today I'm joined by Jordyn De Los Santos, one of the best players in Division II softball in the nation. A Corpus Christi native, where she went on to play at Tyler Junior College, and she broke some records in the process, becoming the all-time home run leader and RBI leader. She went on to play at UT Tyler, where she became a national champion before transferring to West Texas A&M, where she had a historic season, becoming LSC Player of the Year, South Central Regional Player of the Year, and a D2 CCA Ron Lenz Player of the Year award. On top of that, adding some broken records in the WTA&M record book. So nonetheless, welcome, Jordyn De Los Santos.
Jay, off the clock, never needed no wristwatch. Toast up, cheers to life, but this ain't no pit stop. Ayy, my words don't get you to the top. Speak life into the mic like Mike at 90, pass me the rock. My words will touch thousands on the block, without a doubt, but she's a reassurance on me, we lie. Ayy, off the clock, baby, but we tuned in, dialed in. Feel like Cat, how we always winning, man. It's up.
Welcome back to another episode of the Off the Clock podcast. I'm your host, Mark Paz, and we are back with another episode. Last week, we had UTEP assistant coach Samuel Salinas, but this week, we have one of the top players in the nation in Division II softball, and is none other than West Texas' very own Jordyn De Los Santos. Jordyn, thank you so much for joining me. This is a huge podcast for me, episode for me. Having one of the top players on my show, it means a lot. So I appreciate you spending the time to join me today.
Of course, I'm glad to be here and everything. Thank you for the opportunity.
So we'll go ahead and we'll start off first talking about your younger years. So what was it, or when did you originally start playing softball, and who was it that got you into playing softball?
I started playing softball around 3, and at the time, I think you had to be 4. You had to have been 4 in order to play. But I kind of just started playing softball around 4 or around 3, and then just because my sister was playing, I think my mom wanted to me and her to do something together, like play a sport together, whether it was like basketball, softball, or something like that. And so yeah, my mom kind of just put me in the league because my sister was in the league, and even though I was 3, she kind of got me in there and everything. So I kind of started playing around there.
And was softball one of the? Did you play many other sports growing up, or was softball one of the main sports that you stuck to all the time?
It was definitely one of the main sports I kind of stuck with. I played other sports, like I played basketball, I ran track, I did some, long distance running, like cross country. I didn't really do compete in cross country, but I did kind of practice with them. And then I really liked basketball and everything, but just kind of like softball stayed my main sport. Everything I always found myself back to playing softball, and like that's definitely something I enjoyed, like growing up and everything.
And how was it? How was your skills on the court? Are they as good as they are on the field?
I was pretty athletic. I'm not even trying to toot my own horn, but I was pretty athletic. I think I was pretty good at basketball. But I think for basketball kind of being like my secondary sport, I think I was pretty good at it. Would practice with varsity and everything. Kind of help basketball out. In high school, kind of like play tournaments and everything. So, I think I was pretty good. I don't know if I was that good though.
Well, I guess looking at it now, I think we can say that you definitely chose one of the the right decisions to
Oh
stay
yeah,
with.
right. Chose the right sport.
And so you're from the Corpus Christi area. You went to Flower Bluff. You're from around here. What was you mentioned you got into softball early when you were younger. How was it growing up and playing softball at the time? How much did you enjoy playing it?
I really enjoyed I can say this, I didn't appreciate how much I enjoyed the sport until I got older. It was kind of like, I was kind of one of those kids where I did softball because it was something that like I, was like, like I've stuck with this for so many years. So when I was in like middle school and everything, I was just like, I'll stick with softball. But like when I got to high school, like I really started to like find that like appreciation for softball and like just being able to play the game. So kind of growing up, like I knew like softball was just something I kind of only like, or softball was basically the only thing I kind of knew, and so I didn't really appreciate it until, or like have a perspective of how much I appreciate it until like high school.
And in high school, I I had some trouble. I couldn't really find any stats or anything on your high school years. How
Mm.
was your high school experiences playing there at Flower Bluff?
Yeah, so I played my first 3 year at Veterans Memorial here in Corpus.
Okay.
I transferred to Flower Bluff my senior year, and I actually didn't play softball at the Bluff. I kind of just went there for school and everything. Um, but I would say like my time during kind of playing at Vets was more like figuring out like how dedicated I was, kind of like uh, transitioning from high school to college, of course. Like kind of just trying to find out like what type of player I was made out of, what type of player I wanted to be. Like that was definitely the 3 years I played at Vets, was just kind of finding out what type of player like I wanted to be, and how far I was willing to go. So I would say that.
And was there a specific person, like coach, teammate, or like a family member that really helped you become that player that you're looking for?
Yeah, like my parents, man, like those 4 years, like I didn't play my senior year, but I like was constantly practicing. I would say that the three most influential people like my senior year, just kind of that year before I went to college, was my dad. Like always, no matter what it was, I was always catching with him. He would throw me front toss. He would hit to me like hit me ground balls and everything. And then my uncle Aaron, like he like was always like, if I had ever, I wouldn't to him once a week, but like if I had ever been like, hey, can I jump in real quick, he would always find a spot for me to kind of jump in his lessons and everything. Like he was like, those two like are my rocks, like will always be my rocks. And I can definitely thank all the accolades I have like over my college career, like to those two. And the last person definitely on that like list I have to like acknowledge is Morgan Kirk. He was my select coach for STP here in Corpus area, and he definitely kind of like steered me on the right direction for like my college career. He always gave me advice, definitely like gave me the opportunity to play in front of some really good coaches that I would soon go. For example, TJC. Like I was with STP whenever TJC was there at a showcase, and kind of picked me up from there. But yeah, those three people definitely shaped how like my future went for softball.
And whenever you're going into college, and uh, were there many choices that you had to choose from? I know you just mentioned that TJC was a team that saw you while you were playing select ball. Were there any other universities or places that were looking at you too, that you thought of maybe going to, or whenever you're making that decision that you thought you might make it there?
Yeah, I mean, so whenever I kind of joined STP, like my junior year of high school, I was actually committed to Texas A&M San Antonio, and I went to STP, and I kind of, was thinking to myself, like I didn't really see myself there, so I had decommitted, and I joined STP, and Morgan actually kind of helped me. I didn't realize how many schools were looking at me. It was only kind of the ones that I guess felt right for me. Like, and of
Mhm.
course, like I think it felt like that because God has a path for you. I'm a firm believer in that. And like I just only saw one path, and that was the path that He had for me. So I'm unsure. I guess that's a question for Morgan. If a lot of schools kind of reached out to him for me, but yeah, like I know like my commitment story was kind of crazy because I had committed to TJC, and then I this is around the time whenever Coach Nicholson was there at A&M Kingsville, Craig
Mhm.
Nicholson, and he was, kind of telling me like, hey, like if you want to go 1 year at TJC and come to us for 3, like we could do that. And so then I committed to TJC, and then I had a verbal commitment to Texas A&M Kingsville for like my last 3, and then the whole thing with him going to Akron, University of Akron, kind of happened. He called me and everything, and so then I was just going to TJC for 2. And so yeah, it was a crazy story. And then I don't think I kind of realized how many schools were looking at me until I got to TJC.
Mm-hmm. And after that, after those years at TJC, I mean, we'll talk about TJC here in a little. Or you know what? Forget that question. I'll say that one. We'll go ahead and get into TJC. You end up going there, like you just mentioned. It was only supposed to be 1 year, and then you had the verbal commitment to come to TAMU, but you end up being there for 2 years, and you put up some huge, amazing numbers while you're there at TJC for those 2 years. You left the program as the career home run record holder with 34 and the RBI record holder with 140. I mean, you have some amazing stats. Did you have that confidence going in that you're going to make that kind of impact?
I actually I had confidence in myself. I had confidence in like my team and everything. But I had confidence in myself, but I don't think I had that much confidence to where I thought I was going to be able to do that. So it kind of after the season ended, my freshman season ended, like I kind of like took a step back and was like, okay, like I did pretty good. Like you know what I mean? But yeah, I think going there, like going on my visit and everything, I went with my mom, and we practiced with Coach Henderson and the team. And one of my goals was definitely having an impact on TJC. Like I told Coach Henderson that myself, like I want this place to be somewhere where I can impact the program and maybe even break some records and everything. So like I had that in planned, and you know I set the bar high. And I'm not saying I didn't think I was able of achieving that, but I mean I did after all, and so that kind of like it was like, okay, like wow, I kind of like proved myself wrong almost.
And I saw that you played both shortstop and catcher during your time in high school and in TJC. Those two positions, I mean, those are some of the top priority positions when you're out there on the field. How did playing those two help you in the understanding of the game throughout your years playing?
I think catching definitely helped me on the offensive side. Um, I think kind of always catching, kind of seeing the spin of the ball, almost like working counts and everything, knowing what's kind of coming next. Like I think catching definitely gave me an offensive edge. So I mean, I'm grateful I got to catch, especially at the college level. And then and shortstop, just reading the ball off the bat. I've always played shortstop growing up. It was one of my favorite positions to play, and I was also grateful to get to play one of two of the most important positions like on the field in college, and so yeah, I think offensively, I think catching kind of gave me that edge I needed for offense.
And were you always such a power hitter growing up? Was that something that you always had in under your belt, or did that slowly build up as the years went on?
I think it slowly built up because I actually was not a power hitter growing up. I was actually a slapper at one point. And yeah, it's crazy. So I remember I used to slap because I was like, I'm kind of fast. And then I kind of grew up and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of slow now. I can't really slap. And so yeah, I also kind of got like, I was like, oh, like I want to try maybe hitting some home runs. And so I went to the right side permanently. And I actually didn't hit my first home run until my sophomore year of high school. So that was my first home run. Yeah, I was like a late bloomer and everything, and so I remember when I hit my first home run, I was like, oh, like okay, like,
I
but yeah,
got it.
that's when I meant in my high school years. It was kind of like figuring out the player I wanted to be, and I definitely figured that out. As far as like I do want to work hard and show that I can hit for power. That was my first time like hitting like for power or like showing that I can hit for power. And so yeah, like it definitely molded me in the player I wanted to be.
And another thing with going to junior college and I guess coming out of high school, a lot of people may look down on just the word junior college.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to go D1. I mean, if it's not D1, I feel like people always look down on it.
Oh
If
yeah.
just you go D2, they're like, all right, D3, okay, NAI, all right, JUCO, they're like, whatever.
Nah. Yeah.
What is it to you that going and playing JUCO softball? Because I also have a friend who's on the Talmud softball team who
Mhm.
she went to JUCO also, and she told me that their experiences there are just it's like you gotta love the game. JUCO
Yeah.
softball is something else. And how was that experience for you, and what did it teach you that people outside of sports may not understand?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, you definitely got to love your sport if you go JUCO. It's just the grind, like every single day, athletically, academically. But I will say, like, I do not regret going JUCO. Like, I love JUCO. I love my JUCO people. I'm a big promoter in JUCO. I think not everyone needs to go JUCO. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's kids that definitely like can make it to like a Division 2, Division 1, like without going JUCO and everything.
Mhm.
And I think that JUCO is also a good stepping stone for the kids that do need development before getting to universities and everything. And even if like you're kind of questioning, like, I don't know if I'm that kid that needs that stepping stool, like, people. I know I have friends at McLennan that went to junior college for 1, and they went to university for 3. Like, so JUCO is just a stepping stone to get you to where like your home is, and I'm a firm believer in that. But yeah, I do not regret going JUCO. Like, I love my coaches there. I still talk to them even after 2 years of not being there. Like, I keep up with them. Like, I love, especially TJC. Like, I had such a great experience at TJC. Like, as far as academically, athletically, and like just like I have family there in Tyler. I would consider, like, I can't say enough good things about junior college in my opinion.
And I mean, your experience had to be so that much better because you were also NJCAA All American. You were a two-time All Region player at TJC. And how much confidence did those accolades and of course also having broken some records while you're there and putting up some great numbers? How much did that build your confidence on going on to the next level and playing at the next level?
It definitely gave me some confidence. I've also, like, kind of going in, I personally I didn't let it give me too much confidence because I know, like, I still needed to prove myself. There was a big, again, I think JUCO is a stepping stone. So when you get to like whatever Division 2, Division 3, Division 1 level, um, it's definitely still a grind. It's still a fight, and you do have to find your place. So I kind of let that. I almost let it, like, those accolades, instead of kind of giving me more confidence, I kind of let it tell myself that, like, hard work gives you good outcomes. And so it
Mhm.
kind of looked at it from more like of a motivational standpoint instead of kind of like more of a confidence standpoint. So I kind of let it give me motivation and to work hard. And if you want something at any division, that you definitely got to work for it. So I kind of looked at it like that.
And so your 2 years there at TJC were up. I mean, you have all these great accolades while you were there. How did UT Tyler end up coming into the picture? And were there other schools that were also trying to get you and get you into their programs as well, or was UT Tyler immediately coming out one of the main universities that you're like, all right, I think that's where I'm end up going?
Yeah, I did have some other, like, universities looking at me, other than UT Tyler. And I remember making my decision in the fall, and I was trying to kind of give myself some room to, like, commit in the fall, and that way I could just relax and focus on my spring season. And I had some Division 1 offers, and then I also had UT Tyler. So I set up my UT Tyler meeting before I kind of went on those Division 1 meetings. And I went on my I went on my UT Tyler meeting, and I just remember kind of the experience I got there at UT Tyler. I love Tyler, first of all. I think it's a great town. And
Mhm.
then I also kind of talking with the coaches. I mean, Coach Reed's a great coach. He kind of told me something that, I'll never forget. It was, we're sitting down in this like championship room, and he was like, I know other schools are recruiting you, but, I think you can win a national championship here. And like those words to a kid were like Christmas Day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone wants to win a national championship, and everyone, of course, like wants to get an opportunity to play at the Division 1 level and everything. But like, it's honestly like I kind of came down to like what really matters most to me, like being a Division I kid or kind of having the chance to win a national title. Um, and so I went home, I kind of slept on it, and I didn't even go on my Division I like visits. I kind of was, this is honestly the most important thing to me was, kind of fighting for a national title. And so I brought that, or I kind of slept on that, like what were my morals, and yeah, like I committed to UT Tyler. So yeah.
Was that meeting that you took with them, was that before they went and won the Natty the year before?
That was actually before. So yeah, he like
It
I
was
committed
before,
and then he
okay.
won the natty and I was like, well, like I guess I chose right. So yeah, he won the
It's like,
natty.
all right, I just got the right decisions.
Yeah.
And so you ended up going to UT Tyler, and you were a part of an amazing team. I mean, y'all went 62-5. Y'all were back-to-back national champions. What was it that made that team so special in your eyes?
The chemistry, like every time I think back to that team, like the chemistry we had all with each other, like I can't even explain it. Like those are my girls. Like I actually got invited to an engagement party by one of the girls, Sam Shot. Definitely one of the leaders on that team. Like, and me and Sam, like even though I transferred this year, like she would always text me. We would always keep in contact, and she's just one of the girls that kind of was like the glue to the team. Like very like her and JT Smith were our captains, and they were some of the greatest captains like you can honestly have on a softball team. Like, I would the chemistry honestly the grit and hard work like kept us together as a team. I think that's what made our team so great is our chemistry, how hard we worked, and the grit we had like whenever times got tough.
And what did playing for a national championship team like that and making that deep run? I mean, it wasn't their first time; they had done it before. How was it being a part of a winning program and a team like that? What did it teach you about winning?
It honestly taught me like that if you really want something, all it takes is hard work, and honestly takes sacrifice as well. Um, Being a student athlete, you kind of learn it, but especially when you're a part of a winning program, like it's honestly more uh it's harder than you think. I think in a
Hmm.
winning program, like just the fact that there was times that you kind of have to sacrifice. We had other friends on like the basketball team and the volleyball team, like other teams that we wanted to go to their games and support them like they support us, but it's like we got practice. You got to get in the grind and everything, and
Hmm.
so it really takes sacrifice of some relationships, like time, and definitely late nights. Like there's sometimes you get out late from softball practice and you still got to go home, eat, do homework and shower, and then do it all over again the next day. Like it's definitely takes sacrifice, and that's what that winning program kind of taught me.
And what would you or what do you remember most out of winning that national championship? And was there a moment that it really hit you like, man, we just did it. We just went back to back.
um I think that whole season was like that. Like I had confident I have confidence in us like from the start. Like it was definitely like when you would see that team play, you just knew like they were all together. Like we were just kind of on a roll, and even the times that we kind of did like come across a loss, like you just knew we were capable of that, and you never lost confidence in the long run. I think the moment it kind of hit me where I was like, whoa, like we're at the national tournament is definitely the tournament that they put on in Chattanooga. Like they did a great job just kind of giving you like that national championship experience. Like
Mm.
you kind of get there and just like the decorations, the banquet, like the people, like it just kind of almost hits you all at once. Like you're at the natty, like, and I think that's the time where you know we went in and everyone's all dressed up and everything, and then you're just with your team, and it makes you more kind of hungry. It makes you more excited just to win the whole thing because you're already there. Like it's almost just a grind from there.
And so y'all go ahead and y'all win that national title, and you're officially a national champion in yourself. and then the offseason comes, and you made that tough decision. How tough was the decision for you to leave a team that just won the national championship, who not just once but back to back natty winners? How was the how tough was the decision to end up leaving them and go to West Texas, and or how did West Texas end up popping up in your radar?
Yeah. Um, the decision, like definitely was tough. Like I love the girls. Like those are like some of the girls I'm gonna talk to for the rest of my life. One of the girls that actually transferred with me, like Megan Geyer, like we still like talk. Like we're still like again like that team was just a special team, and that's what made the decision hard, and just you're coming from a successful winning program, like UT Tyler does have a great program and everything, and so the decision was hard and everything. And I think at the end of the day, like again, you kind of have to go back to your morals and what you want personally, and kind of again like work hard for everything that you want. And so I think I kind of talked to the coaching staff about my decision and everything, and then I went home and kind of spent time with my family, and kind of UT or WT had reached out to me and was like, okay, like, hey, let's go and like, take a visit and everything. And I just remember seeing them play in the super regionals against us. Like, I loved Coach Mook, like from there, like just the way like he would coach his girls, like just the kind of confidence he'd like feed into his girls. And I know something that I noticed when we were playing them in the super regionals. And I know that they have a successful program and everything. So I took my visit, and then I committed on my visit actually up there, and I just knew like I had a really good feeling, and again, I'm a strong believer in that God has a plan for you, and I think I always thank the man above just for like how everything worked out and everything. So I just kind of trusted his decision in entering the transfer portal and also going to WT.
And so when you got to WT, something that you mentioned when you were leaving TJC and going to UT Tyler was you felt like you still had something to prove. When you were going to WT, did you still have that sense of I have something to prove? Like I can still show people what I got, that I really do deserve to be here.
Yeah, like I think for the rest of my life, I'll probably always feel like that, like I got something to prove. Whether it's like going to or doing lessons, like I want people to know like I believe in my girls, or whether it's just going to work and being the first one there, like I got something to prove, like that you want to be there. Like I think an athlete always kind of keeps that mindset and everything. But yeah, I went into WT like knowing that I got the chance to be a national championship the year before, and I wanted to prove that there's definitely more in me personally, as my performance.
And I mean, you definitely showed everybody like who Jordyn De Los Santos is. I mean, this season you broke some records there at WT as well. You won LSC Player of the Year. You won Regional Player of the Year. You won a I forgot what the full name of it, but it was a National Player of the Year. Uh, at what point did you realize that you were having that kind of season? That was there like a halfway point through the season that you're like, all right, I'm doing some things here. Was there a certain point where it really hit?
There's actually no, like Coach Mook said the same things to me. Like, hey, like, do you ever like pinch yourself or anything? And honestly, like for me personally, like I still can't even really think about it right now. Like I feel like it doesn't, truly hit me right now, uh, on like the type of season that I had. But I mean, from the beginning, whenever we did start our season, like I know I did start off, pretty good, and I kind of just went along with the season, and whatever happened kind of happened. And I was like, cool, like for 5 minutes. And then the next time I was just like, okay, what's next? Who do we play next? Like, who do we got next week? Like, and I kind of like let it uh, soak in for about 5 minutes, I say. And then I kind of like, okay, who do we play next? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it that would make sense because I was just going through y'all's WT schedule, and you had a lot of time to think about other opponents because there weren't many games that went full 7 innings for you
Yeah.
guys. There was a lot of five inning games for y'all, so
Uh-huh.
y'all definitely had a lot of time to look ahead. And I real quick, I might for what I would call it, but I just want to read off some stats real quick for the fans that may not know the full stats for your past season. Uh, at WT this year, you hit batting average of 493, fifth best in the nation. You had 109 hits, second best in the nation. 91 runs scored, first in the nation. 24 doubles, sixth in the nations. 27 home runs, first in the nation. 97 RBIs, first in the nation. Uh, you had 224 total bases. That was first in the nation by quite a bit when I was looking back at it. You had a 1014 slugging percentage, first in the nation. The only two stats that you weren't top of the nation were triples and stolen bases, and I mean, still, those are some pretty good numbers that you had on there. When you finished with the 27 home runs and the 97 RBIs, which both are program records, uh, just what was it like being at the plate? How locked in were you there? And did you just have a different feeling whenever you're in the box and facing the pitcher?
Yeah, I guess my senior year, I had time to like truly work and figure out the player I wanted to be in college, and that was perfecting my craft. Like hitting is, I think every player should perfect their craft, and your craft is fielding. It could be both, like just the whole game as a whole, and I truly wanted to be that power hitter that
Mm-hmm.
I was never really seen as in high school. And so I was a small girl, very underestimated, for power. And honestly, I was still like that in college. I remember kind of looking back at highlights and hearing the commentators be like, "Well, she does not look like she has the stats that she has right now." And I get it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm really undersized. But I would say like hitting is my craft. Like I almost like it's gonna like sound corny, but I really truly feel like I understand hitting like in my soul. Like that's something that like I'm so blessed that God has given me, like, because that is my craft. And I honestly, from an offensive standpoint, like that, I really would say like I tried to perfect my craft.
And I mean, we mentioned so much about your hitting, and I mean, you also mentioned you used to be a slap hitter because you were a speedy player also. I mean, 22 stolen bases isn't nothing. Isn't that's not to look at. I mean, that's a pretty good number. And how important for you as a player was it to be so rounded offensively and be able to make an impact in all ways?
Yeah. So I think at TJC, my freshman year, or even like my sophomore year, I can't remember the number, but I had like 3 stolen bases, and I definitely wanted to, again, like you said, kind of be that rounded player that could do it all. Like, you know what I mean? You could definitely be a threat on the bases, and then also be a threat like as far as power, like hitting. And I again, I wanted to perfect my craft offensively, and so I would definitely. There's times in the season where me and Coach Mook would laugh to ourselves because I'm on first base and I'm looking at him and I'm ready for him to give me that sign and steal and everything. And so yeah, like I definitely wanted, as far as on the bases, I wanted to do it more for the team. Like I wanted to put myself in a better position that way, like my team could definitely, get some runs scored. And as for as a base runner, I think if you get good reads on the ball, like, and you're a threat on the bases, you're just easier to win ball games because you're getting runs across the board, and you're doing well on that aspect. So I think, base running is definitely hard in college and everything because of how quick the game kind of escalates. But, again, I think if kids nowadays perfect their craft and learn how to base run efficiently, that, it'll make games, a lot more interesting.
And when you broke the single season home run record, did you immediately know, like when you got to the dugout, did they tell you like you broke that record, or when was it that you found out that you had broken it?
I knew before that I was really close. Because it was when I tied it, we were in our first game of the Super Regionals against OC, and
Mhm.
OC. I kind of went into that series knowing that Jill's a great pitcher, Ella's a great pitcher. They're all around like just great pitchers. Very tough to hit against. And honestly, I went in there not trying to do too much because I knew that, at the game of softball, like it's just definitely, you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. So when I tied it, I knew the next one I would hit would be the, like, break the ice and everything. And then I remember when I did break it, it was my first at bat of the second game. And I was looking for I was kind of going through my uh, visualization. I was going through my approach to the plate. And I remember my first at bat during that game 2 game, I was just looking for an inside pitch, and she just so happened to throw me an inside pitch. And so, yeah, I just remember the feeling of like as soon as it was like it left my bat, like I knew it was kind of gone. And so I'm not one to like pimp home runs, but I did pimp that one a little bit, and that's because I really like Jill too on the other team and everything. But I just kind of had to, just because I haven't done that since junior college as far as breaking home runs and records and everything. But, I did, kind of know as soon as I hit that ball, that it was definitely, that was going to be the one to break it.
And what did that moment mean to you to now be the record holder for single season home runs there at WT?
Yeah, it meant a lot because of how much that, my team believed in me, how much Coach Mook like believed in me, and just again my parents, like how much my parents believe in me. Just being able to like complete that that accomplishment is just, I mean, it's more than, I'm a firm believer that, records are meant to be broken. So, whoever, breaks that, kudos to them. I wish nothing, but the best for them and everything. I think records are meant to be broken, but I think the impact it made on the people around me meant more than the actual record itself.
And so, I mean, y'all this season, y'all had a amazing year. Uh, y'all finished the season 54-10. Y'all were national champion runner-ups. Uh, One thing I wanted to really talk about was the Lone Star Conference tournament. So, Tamuk fan, obviously. I'm rooting for my team, and
Yeah.
so y'all end up losing to Tamuk in the semifinals.
Mm.
How did the team take that loss, and how did it help y'all's mentality going into the regionals and going on? How did that loss impact y'all, and did it make y'all just come closer as a team, or what was it that helped click for you guys afterwards?
I definitely think it helped us come together as a team, but also like kind of realize what we needed to work on in order to succeed better in postseason. Like, there's a beauty of postseason in any division, that like, whether it's conference tournament, regional tournament, anything about something about postseason about the game, it just makes you like almost appreciate the game more, just because like
Hmm.
you're the last like 60 teams in the nation, like being in like your regional tournament, being in your conference tournament. Not everyone makes conference either, so just kind of going from that loss into practice the following days, it was just something that you could know like that the team was hungrier, like you can just sense it like in the practice that like everyone knew what they wanted to do, everyone knew what they wanted to work on, and we went from there. Like it just almost made us hungrier, I think.
Yeah, because y'all not only hosted conference and y'all not only saw someone else win on your own ground, y'all hosted the regionals the very next weekend,
Mm.
and y'all go ahead and y'all played Tamuk and y'all beat Tamuk. And how was that feeling for you guys to lose to them last week, and then the next week y'all are beating them 13-5 in the regional tournament? How was that?
It was definitely a good feeling, like knowing that, like taking that hungry feeling that you got from losing, and then going and taking it back, like from Tamuk, like and again, like I have friends, Megan, Alana,
Yeah.
Audrey, feel like I love those girls and everything, and I think they have the same mentality as me, as far as like you get on the field and like you're trying to win for your team, you're trying to win for the the name on your chest, and
Hmm.
um I think, kind of taking it back from them as a team and as a whole, like it was, something that we definitely needed to help us kind of get that push towards nationals.
And so y'all made obviously that push for nationals. Y'all go ahead and y'all beat Oklahoma Christian in the super regionals. And I was looking at y'all schedule, and I remember I watched a little bit of the games. Three of y'all's last four games in the College World Series went into extra innings, and that's incredible because how was that feeling in the dugout for each of those games, knowing that it's coming down to the very next play, the very next pitch, because it's just going inning after inning. How was that feeling like?
It was almost the feeling of like, hey, like you got to trust the person next to you. Like, like if you don't get it done, like the person next to you will. Like it was that type of fight. Like, and we knew we were going to get into some dog fights because we weren't going to go down without a fight, especially, on, in Chattanooga. But yeah, the extra innings was definitely tough. And you can tell everyone was fighting with everything they had in them. I remember in the Missouri Southern game, it was an elimination game, and just trying to get to the semifinals the next day. We were down to our like almost the bottom of our lineup, and I remember Avery just kind of hitting that home run, and everyone kind of took that like that sigh that it was like, oh, like this is what we're fighting for. Like this is moments like this is what we're fighting for, and it just makes the moment that much special. Like knowing that how hard we've worked and knowing that we're not going to give up that easily. So yeah, it makes the moment special, honestly. Even the extra innings were tiring.
And would you say that your experience from the previous year at UT Tyler, making that deep postseason run and winning the national championship, would you say that that experience helped you coming into this postseason and achieving what y'all did and helping you out, knowing what to kind of expect going into some of these games? Like, hey, this is one of the biggest games of our season, but we got to stay in the moment. We can't just get in our heads and anything. We're always in these games. We always got something to prove. It's always the next game. How would you say that experience helped you?
I definitely would say like the experience I got from UT Tyler did help me like this year as a player, and then also kind of like me having that effect like on the team and like kind of talking with Coach Mook. I think it did like help us in a way, but I definitely think that it was me to a certain point, kind of like letting them know like what the experience was like, but then also like those girls on this last year team like just worked hard. Like WT, like the softball program itself, like there's some hard workers, and I think I could say like, hey, Coach Moog, this and this is gonna like play out like in Chattanooga, but like at the end of the day, like we were a whole new team and we built from the ground up, like from the start of the season, and definitely I think it was just what got us there and kind of kept us in the fight a little bit was just definitely how hard we worked.
And so, of course, everybody they want to end the season holding that trophy as national champion. Y'all end up becoming a runner up, but still, what was it about this team that I feel like you've already mentioned it a few times? But what was it about this team that really helped you guys that you really saw that this team had what it takes to make it that far? What was it about this team that made it so special?
The girls definitely like you have your best friends on the team and you want to be next to your best friend with the little natty trophy. It's just kind of like that feeling and the chemistry just like the year before and everything, and just having confidence within each other. I think slowly over the season we learned to trust each other better, like on
Mhm.
and on the field, and just kind of letting everyone like play to the best of their ability. Like, and I think Coach Mook does a great job coaching us and then also bringing out the best in us. I think Coach Mook definitely held us all together and kind of just brought the best out of everyone on the field.
And so we've talked about all your awards and the records you've broken. How were you able to stay grounded and focused and focused on the next game coming up? What did you find it difficult, or was it just like another day for you, just on to the next?
It was honestly probably more of the like kind of onto the next day for me, just personally, because I think I know when I got to college, it was more everything I was doing was definitely for the glory for the man above. Like, you know what I mean? And I'll never. He's the reason why like I have all these accolades and everything, and just I mean, I can't even put it into words. Like, you know what I mean? I think the appreciation I have for my faith is what keeps me grounded, and knowing that I'm doing everything for the man above, and just kind of keeping. I guess that's what definitely kept me grounded. Just because I definitely wouldn't think about it too much. I would just be on to the next day, and even now, like I'm on to the next day. Like I know, like God has a plan for me. After softball, so I mean, I'm grateful for everything that I've experienced, and I'm grateful for the position I'm in now.
And whenever you look back at your softball career, and we talked a little bit prior to us starting the interview that you should still have maybe another year.
Mhm.
Whenever you at the end of it, when you look back, what would you like to remember your softball career as, or how would you like other people to remember your career as?
Um, I think, I mean, definitely just proving a lot of people wrong, and just being kind of grounded like within yourself. A lot of the times in the softball community, in the softball world, there's just times where you could let someone's opinion affect you, and
Mhm.
everything, but I think at the end of the day, like your morals, know yourself, and you accomplish everything with hard work and how hard you work. And um again, me personally, I think I kind of wanted to identify like my career just through my faith and everything. But if I could give the younger uh kind of South Texas girls like some advice, it would just definitely be to have faith in yourself, and have faith in the man above. That's probably the biggest thing for me, like over the last 4 years, that I think kind of kept me going, kept me rolling.
And that's a that's something that I also wanted to talk about because I think I've talked a lot to one of my bosses and he's from Michigan and so he's not too familiar with South Texas or anything. He's only been here for like a year and a half, 2 years. Something I tell him is South Texas has talent. South
Hmm.
Texas, they've got what it takes. People don't give South Texas enough credit because we do got some ball players. We do got some people down here that can make it a good distance. I mean, uh, what is your take on it? How do you feel the South Texas is represented in sports?
I definitely think South Texas is at least whenever I was in high school, kind of almost underrated. Like we were flying
Hmm.
under the radar with a lot of our recruitments, and of course here and there you had some people that would kind of make it out of, at least for the softball aspect of um, South Texas. I think baseball, it was, we were definitely getting some names out there, even way back then, kind of getting some people recruited to like the bigger schools. But as far as softball, I think that was more of like a recent thing in the last 10 years that people started kind of making a name for South Texas, and I think now like that's probably my biggest goal is when I'm coming across like people that I want to work with on the softball aspect. Like I want people to start realizing that you don't got to go to Dallas to find talent. Like we got some talent here in the 361 and just in South Texas overall. Like in the RGV, Laredo. I think definitely those are some of the most underrated girls that will fly underneath the radar, and they do have talent, and you can find a home like anywhere at the collegiate level.
Yeah, because I look at Tamut's team, our team personally, and our team is almost made up of nothing but athletes from South Texas, and
Hmm.
I know Coach Salinas came in as a head coach, and that was something that he really wanted to make an impact and a statement in, and that like there's players down here in South Texas. You can still become a great team with the South Texas roster, and I mean it has shown, and I mean obviously you're one to prove it that I mean here in this area, like you said, the 361, we got some talent, we got some ball players down here that could make a huge impact for a team or two. So that's massive. And something else I want to talk about. Of course, we talked so much about uh your career playing and growing up, but something else I like to talk about is off the field. I mean, uh who is Jordyn whenever she's not playing softball, whenever she's not putting in some extra work in the cages? Who is Jordyn De Los Santos?
Man, like I kind of said this in another interview, but like, I struggled for a long time trying to figure out like who I am without softball and everything. And again, I think one of the biggest things is outside of softball, like I definitely want to try to impact people in life, like through my faith, through my personality, through my actions. Um, I'm pretty much I would say like a simple person. I work out when I'm not uh playing softball. I hang out with my family. I do binge watch a lot of shows. So that's probably, a little secret about me. I could get into a show like and sit down there probably for the whole day and everything. But yeah, like I'm a simple girl and everything, and I definitely the impact. I think I want people to know me outside of softball is just the impact I want to try to make on the world, whether it's the softball community or whether it's Corpus as a community itself. Like I definitely want to try to do good for the community around me, for my family, and just almost like have that athlete perspective, but in life. And so,
Mhm.
just I guess trying to figure out how can I help the community? How can I help these young girls learn how to get to the next level? Like I guess pass it on. You know what I mean? Like you help this, you help one person and it can help the next. That's kind of the mentality I want to have here for me being done with softball.
Yeah, you don't want to be too greedy with it. You want to be able to keep the legacy growing, keep the legacy going on. It can't just be one person getting all the success. The more the merrier. I mean that's a beautiful thing about it. And one thing you said that you binge watch some shows that I do the same thing, especially this time of year whenever there's no school or anything going on.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time. What was the last show that you watched? What was it?
Okay. The last show I watched was actually an older show. It's like more of a rewatch, but it's One Tree
Mhm.
Hill. It's like a basketball like teen drama. But
Okay.
it's a kind of older show. It's definitely early 2000s. I tried kind of putting some of my teammates on during the year, but they were like, "When was this show even made?" And I was like, "I'm not even that old." Sure. Like, it's just a cool show. But yeah, it was One Tree Hill. That was the last show I've been binge watched.
And do you have a favorite show? Is that probably one of your favorite shows, or is there another show that
Uh,
you put up there?
I wouldn't say so. I think my favorite show right now uh is actually it's on Netflix. It's called The Comeback. It's with the 2004 World Series. Uh
Yeah. Okay.
it's with the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox and how they were down three games and they made a comeback and everything. That was probably my favorite series that I rewatched pretty soon. I just love that. Like just the environment I kind of was describing in postseason, like that, that's definitely my favorite show right now. So
Do you find yourself watching a lot of shows that deal with sports?
yeah, I try to at least get a show with sports in it because I think I'm a sports person all around, no matter what sport it is. Whether it's basketball again with like the Spurs and the Knicks, or the soccer, or I mean I do watch a little bit of volleyball here, like whenever volleyball season is
Mhm.
kind of in the fall and stuff. But yeah, I just love watching sports. I think there's a beauty to sports that you just can't be recreated in anything else.
Yeah, I can believe the soccer part. I can see a little bit of the TV in the back, and there's
Oh
been some
yeah.
soccer played this whole time.
Yeah.
Are you back home? Because I've seen some people walking around in the
Yeah.
back. Are you back home?
Yes, I am. Mhm.
And something that I want to talk about also with school. You're majoring in sports and exercise science. Is that correct? For
Mhm.
and with the pre-physical therapy focus?
Yeah. So when I was at WT, I was kind of doing that route and everything. So, but towards like the spring, it did change, and I've kind of wanted to find something where again I can help the community, help I guess have an impact like with sports and everything. So, kind of my focus right now is doing the Fire Academy, and then work from like an L. Do that for a little bit, and then possibly try to work for like an RN while I'm doing like the Fire Academy. So, but again, I think God has a plan for me. So I'm like going day by day, just, you know, going on his plan and his path that he kind of sets for me and everything again. And my biggest goal is just to try to help the community and definitely the softball world, and try to get these young girls, try to get recognized and everything.
So that almost basically answers my next question, and it's a question that I try to ask everybody. I didn't ask my last guest because coaching, you can do that for so long, and he's a coach, and you can coach until you're 70, and so I'm not going to ask him this question because I feel like there's no point. But for an athlete, there comes a certain point where you're done with the game. You know, the game's no more, the game's over, and it's on to the next thing. And so whenever softball is over and done with you, what do you see yourself doing in the future later on? And how, I know you said you plan on trying to help out the community and do something in that sort of way. What are some of those things that you see yourself doing in the future?
Traveling. I think I wanna travel the world. I think I want my family to. I think I want to be able to work so hard where I can have my family. Like, my family has worked hard for me. I'm talking from my mom, my dad, my sister. Like, everyone has sacrificed something for me, and if I could do something in the future, it would definitely be work so hard where I could give everyone that experience that like I want. And traveling, you know, I think my family had always planned to go to New York for Christmas, and, you know, like, you know, kind of complete that underneath the belt, travel out of the country, and just give everyone that type of experience. And so, you know, these next couple of years are definitely, you know, work hard for my family, because they've worked hard for me over the last 18, 19 years I've played softball. So, I mean, just trying to give back to them as well.
All right. Well, Jordyn, that's all I have. That's everything. Again, I appreciate you so much for coming on. This was an amazing conversation, and I look forward to what you do in the future, and I look forward to watching you play some more softball, hopefully.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jay, off the clock, never needed no wristwatch. Toast up, cheers to life, but this ain't no pit stop. Ayy, my words don't get you to the top. Speak life into the mic like Mike at 90, pass me the rock. My words will touch thousands on the block, without a doubt, but she's a reassurance on me, we lie. Ayy, off the clock, baby, but we tuned in, dialed in. Feel like cat, how we always